Hey guys, Professor Perazzo here, driving it home. Another day of training. Just got done teaching at my friend Tim Carpenter and Eric Carner School in King of Prussia. Good training, as always. Good class. Anyway, driving it home. Had an interesting conversation today with a friend of mine. We talked about some issues, and I think it's something I should share. And I'm gonna change the names to protect the whatever people say. The names have been changed to protect whatever. Anyway, probably won't even use the names. So one of my tires is going flat. I gotta put air in it. Anyway, giving a dog a bone. When you give a dog a bone, you do not want the dog to bite you, right? How does that translate to the martial arts? Well, in the martial arts we have ranks, right? We should respect rank and have a minimum level of respect for our higher ranked training partners. And when you're a higher rank than someone and you're training with them, the last thing you want to hear is their feelings on how the training went. Oh, I felt like I did better today. I did this when you did that. It's, a little almost, I should say almost, but it's disrespectful. Yeah, everybody has the right to talk, but, in the martial community, higher rank rules, just keep your mouth shut. You did whatever you needed to do. You're training with a higher belt, someone with more experience than you. Just at the end of the training session, don't talk. Just ask them for advice and say, hey, any tips you could give me? In this particular situation, I was trying to do X, it didn't work. Any advice for me there? Rather than, somewhat thumping your chest and saying, oh, I felt like I did a little better today than I did the last time I trained with you. You only tapped me out 3 times as opposed to 6, and this and that. And as I was talking to my friend about his training session that he had today, he goes, man, I can't wait to train with that guy again and fuck him up. So maybe you know who you are or you're not, it doesn't quite matter. But when you're training with a higher ranked dude, I'm not saying you don't have to go after him, I'm not saying don't train hard, but when you're done, keep your mouth shut about how you feel you did, right? Just go on, be respectful, and ask what I need to do to improve. If you have a specific situation that you were working on, ask about that specific situation and move on. Don't kind of think that you're this training partner that you're not, or you're better than you are, because you really haven't earned the right to talk about what the training was like with someone, especially if they're a black belt. So the bone is a black belt training with a lower belt. Giving the dog the bone and getting it to bite you is when you hear some nonsense from this guy who maybe he knows jiu-jitsu a little bit, but he doesn't know as much as he thinks he knows. So guys, when you're training with the higher ranks, be respectful, train hard with them, but don't talk in declarative statements when you're done. Ask them for advice, ask them for help. You're gonna get further. I'm not saying they're not going to come and fuck you up next time or train hard with you, but they're more apt to help you than not. All right, guys? If you're the dog, take the bone, eat it, don't bite the guy giving it to you. So basically, shut up, take your training partner, your black belt training partner's advice, and move on. Don't think that you have something to add. If he asks you a question, that's a different story. If he asks you, hey, when you were in X position, you did Z, what was going on there, or what was your thought process, then you kind of have the ability and the right to talk. Otherwise, don't talk in declarative statements. Ask rather than declare. All right, guys, the professor driving it home, coming home from King of Prussia. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me here on YouTube, in real life, if you see me, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you feel. All right, guys, have a good night.